Hello students, welcome back to the online class of science. This is your Naima Miss back with the new topic of the human eye and its colorful world. So we have learned in our previous class about the defects in vision, and we have even learned about there are three types of defects in vision: myopia, hypermetropia and presbyopia. And even we have learned about the dispersion of light through prism, right? So in today's class we'll be learning about the scattering of light. So scattering of light is a complex phenomena. It's a complex phenomena. We know that in the atmosphere we have atom, right? We have atom or we have a molecule, right? We have the atoms and we have molecules, and which are exposed to light, okay? Which are exposed to light and they absorb the light, right? They absorb light energy and emit some part of it, right? And they release some part of it. They will take, like how we take food and we don't eat everything. Some of our things are digested in our body and the unwaste is removed from our body. Similarly, the atoms or the molecules also will take absorb some energy, some light, and remaining they will emit out, so in different directions. Okay, this is the basic which happens in scattering of light. This is the basic thing which is happening in the scattering of light, that is the light is getting absorbed by the atom and it is getting released in some directions. Okay, so the effect of light on a molecule or an atom depends upon the size of the molecule. Okay, depends on the size of the molecule. So the size plays a very important role in the scattering of molecule, scattering of light. Okay, so the scattering of light takes place based on the size of the atom or the molecule. Okay, based on the size or the atom or the molecule. So if the size of the particle is small, fine, if it is very small, then it will be affected by higher frequency, that is lower wavelength light will be affected. Okay, so high frequency you can see. Okay, high frequency you can see. High frequency means it is being affected by low wavelength. Lower wavelengths are seen. Okay, and if you're saying if the size is big, then you can say it is having low frequency and higher wavelength. Okay, vice versa, higher wavelength. So that means it depends totally, the scattering of light totally depends upon the size of the atom or the molecule. What is happening here, the light is absorbed by the atom or the molecule and a part of it is released in various, that is emitted in various directions. Okay, then you can say that size of the atom depends, the scattering of light depends on the size of the atom. So if the size of the atom is small, then you can say that it is having high frequency or the lower wavelength, and if it is big, then you can say that it is having low frequency, that is it is having higher wavelength. So let us suppose this is the atom. Okay, this is the atom. Okay, we'll consider this as the atom. Now certain frequency of light is coming and falling, so we will take it as incident. Okay, certain light is coming and falling here, we will take it as incident ray. Okay, now what is happening, when the light is falling onto this atom, what will happen, some of the vibrations will start taking place. Okay, vibrations will start taking place, and due to this vibration, the release or the re-emit of light in all directions with different intensities will take place. Okay, when the light is falling, what is happening, the atom will start vibrating and it will start releasing the re-emitting the light in all directions with different intensities. Okay, what is happening, the light is emitted back, re-emitted back, whatever the incident light is falling here, onto the atom. What is happening? The atom is producing some vibrations, and due to these vibrations, what is happening? The light which is absorbed gets emitted back with some different intensities, with different intensity. It's clear, children? It gets emitted back with different intensities. Now, the intensity of light is the energy of light passing through the unit of plane. Take a normal to the direction of propagation of light in 1 second. Okay. Now, if we consider that the free atom or the free molecule somewhere in the space is doing like this, okay, then light of certain frequency falls on the atom. This atom or the molecule responds to the light whenever the size of the atom or the molecule is comparable to the wavelength of the light. Suppose, as I said earlier, if the size is big, then it will have higher wavelength, right? It will have higher wavelength. And if it is having small size, then it will have lower wavelength, right? That is lower frequency, higher frequency. So due to these vibrations, the atoms start re-emitting the certain fraction of absorbed energy into the all the directions, okay, with different intensities. So this is nothing but it is called as scattered light. So whatever light is re-emitted by the atom in different intensities is called as scattered light. Okay, and the process of re-emission of light with different intensities is called as scattering of light. Okay, I hope it is clear, children. It is simple. When the light is falling on the an atom, like how I said our body, similarly here what it is happening means when the light is falling on the atom or the molecule, what it is happening, some vibrations is created in the atom, and what will happen, the atom will start releasing the re-emitting the light. Whatever it is absorbed, whatever is left over, it will start emitting back. And when it is emitting back, what it is doing, it is emitting at different intensities. Okay, it is different, it is releasing at different intensities, re-emitted back in different intensities. So this is called as scattered light, and the whole process of this is called as scattering of light. It's clear? And the atom which is releasing this scattered light is called as scattering center. Okay, this atom is called as scattering center. The angle between the incident light and the direction in which the incident rays are scattered is called as is called as scattering angle. Okay, and this intensity is maximum at 90 degrees. Okay, 90 degrees angle, you can see it is maximum intensity is seen. Okay, the reason for the appearance of clear blue color of sky is due to when you look at the sky, the sky appears like clear blue in color, right? So the reason is because it's in the direction perpendicular to the direction of sun rays. Okay, this is the reason. The scattering light is the reason for the appearance of clear blue color when we look at the sky in a direction perpendicular to the direction of sun rays. Suppose we are standing here and we are looking at the sky. So that means here is the sky, we are standing perpendicular, right? Perpendicular to the sun rays. So that's why when we see from here that the sky appears to be blue in color. Now when I'm saying that the sky is appearing blue when we look at the sky, when the sun rays, when we are perpendicular to the sun rays, then you might have a doubt, why only blue color, why not all other colors, right? So we have the reason also behind it, why it is not other colors, why only blue color. When we look at the sky, it is blue color. Why? So we know that our atmosphere contains some molecules of different molecules and atoms, right? The reason for the blue color is due to the molecules of nitrogen and oxygen. Okay, due to nitrogen and oxygen, the sky appears to us is blue in color. The size of these molecules are comparable to the wavelength of blue light. Okay, they are mostly close to the wavelength of blue light. Okay, they are mostly very close to comparable to the wavelength of blue light. So these molecules act at the scattering center. Okay, they act as the scattering center. They act as the scattering center means what I said, scattering, the atom which is at the center and which absorbs and emit, right? So this nitrogen and oxygen acts as the scattering center for the scattering of blue light. So our atmosphere contains atoms which are of different sizes, right? According to their size, they are able to scatter. Okay, so now we came to know the blue color of light is due to, blue color of sky is due to the presence of nitrogen and oxygen molecules which are comparable, which are having comparable wavelength, which is closer to the wavelength of the blue light, and they are called here they act as the scattering centers. That's why the sky appears to be blue in color, right? Now when the why the sky appears white sometimes when you view, right? During the hot days, you see that the sky appears to be white in color. Why that is happening? So what happens in an atmosphere, as I said, there are different sizes of atoms and molecules are present. So according to the sizes, they are able to scatter different wavelengths, right? So if we say the example, the size of the water molecule. Okay, if we take the water molecule, we can say that the size of the water molecule is greater than nitrogen and oxygen. Okay, so this water drop act as a scattering center here for other frequencies, now which is lower than the blue light. Okay, so on a hot day, due to the sun rise in temperature, water vapors enters into the atmosphere, right? Water vapors, what they do, they are enter into the atmosphere. So when these water vapors enter into the atmosphere, they are lot number and they are abundant of water molecules present in the atmosphere now, right? So what will happen? These water molecules scatter the colors of the other frequencies. They'll try to scatter all the other frequencies other than blue color, because the frequency of blue color light is less when compared to water molecule. So all such colors of other frequencies reach our eyes and the sky appears as white. Okay, I hope this is clear, children. So with this we finish the scattering of light. Sometimes we see that the sulfur grains appears to be blue in color at the beginning, and slowly when their color becomes white as their size increases. When this happens, when we see the sodium thiosulfate and sulfuric acid in a glass beaker, we will place the beaker in an open place where abundant sunlight is available. Later, slowly you will see there is a change in the color, right? So this is due to the size increases, and because of the change in the size, you can see that the particles change due to the precipitation. Okay, they convert into precipitation. So you will notice that sulfur precipitates as a reaction in this progress, and at the beginning the grains of the sulfur are smaller in size, and as the reaction progresses the size increases due to the precipitation. Hence the sulfur grains appears blue in color. Yes, this that there also the reason is due to the scattering of light. So one more thing, why sky appears red in color during the sunrise and at sunset? Yes, we have seen that blue color appears, white color appears, white appears red in color. So as we have seen that the molecules which are having comparable wavelength, they will act as the scattering centers, right? So the molecules which are comparable to the wavelength of red light, okay, red light are less in atmosphere. The scattering red color is less when compared to the other colors. The light from the sun needs to travel more distance in atmosphere during the sunrise and sunset of to reach our eyes. Okay, it needs to travel at a long distance. What? A red light. Okay, red light needs to travel at long distance to reach our eyes. Okay, so in the morning and evening times during the sunrise and sunset, except red light, all colors scatter more and vanish before they reach. Since the scattering of light, red light is small, it reaches you. As a result, the sun appears red in color during the sunrise and sunset. Okay, because the wavelength is because the all other particles, they will get vanish. You can see the sunrise and sunset time, the sky appears as red in color. So with this we have learned about the different types of scattering of light, why the sky appears in different colors at different times. Okay, so far we have learned some ideas of light such as refraction, dispersion and scattering. These are the wonderful phenomena occurring in our surrounding. So when you observe any such phenomena, try to resolve the problem and appreciate the wonderful world based on the behavior of the light. Okay, thank you for watching. With this we end up this lesson. Thank you.